Hi, I'm Elvie from Meadows Log Homes. Today we're excited to show you the progress on our basement. First of all, we're excited because we have a fire going in the stove in the basement. We've had it for a little while, and we've got the chimney in, and it puts out a lot of heat. And now that we have insulation in the basement, it stays a little warmer. We had some nice weather and it turned a little cooler on us, but it won't last long because it's springtime. So I want to show you what we've got done. We were going to put a log wall here and a log wall over there, but we've decided to put windows in. So those windows just showed up. We're going to put windows in, both that to have more glass up front. And this is our thick window ledge, 4-inch thick plank, and no trim will come on here. We're just going to caulk this. So that's a little different. So we see just the beam between the windows. Above me, you see a vent coming out. That's a ducted pipe going through the joist cavity that goes out to the furnace that would heat the house. And this will be for aesthetics or additional heat, but later on, we'll have the big furnace that will power all the heat for the house. So they've got insulation in all the inside walls because for soundproofing, and insulation in the ceiling, so there's some soundproofing between the floors. So this is they're just R21 fiberglass insulation, and here is all the wiring is done, except no covers yet because we'll do the drywall first and then the electrical covers. On all the beams in the basement, they stick out a little ways. The drywall sheetrock will go against the beam. It'll be painted. Then we'll have the contrast of these 12 by 12 beams, 10 by 10 beams next to the drywall of a timber frame appearance of a vertical post and a horizontal top member. So here's a bedroom, all insulated for soundproofing. You'll notice the outside walls have the green spray foam, which is a much better insulation than fiberglass. So all the cold walls, the exterior walls in the basement have this foam spray, and the interior walls have the fiberglass just for soundproof. We tried some rock wool, which is a newer kind for us, a newer type of insulation that is a soundproof insulation for the ceiling. It's supposed to be somewhat better than fiberglass. We'll see. So we use some of that. We'll try that out for the ceiling, so the sound doesn't carry through the ceiling. And we even put the fiberglass in the closet, so there's a good sound barrier. Fiberglass insulation is not that expensive, and you can use it economically for your walls to keep the sound from going through. There will be a door there. That way, if there's youth or people down here playing games or having a Bible study or making noise, children playing, they can be down here in this area making noise. We can shut the door, and the adults can communicate upstairs without noise. So this is the laundry room, and this is nice because the fiberglass will help keep the noise of the washer dryer in the room and not outside. There will be a chute from the upstairs loft coming down, so the people in the loft will be using the laundry chute for the laundry coming down here, and then so this will be used for the whole house except for the one upstairs and the main floor. And then this can be for guests later on, or our parents, or somebody can live here if needed. This will be the kitchen. This is Rebecca's sink. She wants to have this sink. I'll show you this antique Maytag wash tub. What brand is it? It says Crossley. Okay, it's not Maytag, it's Crossley. Let me get rid of this stuff here to show you this antique galvanized wash tub. These would be rinse tubs for a wash machine, like for a Maytag wringer washer. And this is going to be our kitchen sink for the basement. This is the plumbing, and this will sit right over there. I'll take it over and put it right here. I'm going to raise it to about this high, the height of a countertop. There'll be a countertop over here, and then a stove. So it'll be raised up like this. And we're going to leave it just like that. This will be the drain. You just open this up and be a hose going down to drain it. And then we'll do our dishes in here. We'll use it for a kitchen sink. So that's what my wife wanted. And we had it, so it's an antique, and that'll be kind of fun. And we're doing our own concrete countertops. We're learning how to do that, and so that's going to be interesting. We'll show that. Here's the water pipes coming under the floor. Cold is blue, red is hot. Coming up here for the kitchen sink. This is an outdoor hot and cold for outdoor water for the yard to irrigate the grass or whatever we need outside. A frost free through the wall. This comes over here. This will be above the stove. A swing away faucet pot filler, like when we're canning or need water on the stove. We can use this swing away faucet that'll swing back against the wall for filling water on the stove. And the refrigerator will sit over in this area. And this is heat coming out from once the furnace is set up and running. Heat goes up there and comes down here. There'll be a screen there. And this box here is boxed around. The drywall will go up there and around it to cover the heat ducting in that part. Most of the heat ducting is up in the ceiling right there. And you see wires coming through there for the lighting and running through different parts of the house. So a lot of the wiring is in this ceiling cavity, goes over and down to the outlets and the different places. This is for the refrigerator. And the nice thing about this concrete form, there's concrete inside of this. There is a plastic stud every so often by these X's. And you can put the sheetrock right on that, screw right into it. And then you can mount the electrical outlets and things right onto them. So there's 2.5 inches of foam and there's 8 inches of concrete in the center. Here a form was built to put drywall around to hide that heat duct. And that goes upstairs to the master bedroom for heat. And we got this room is insulated with R38 insulation in the ceiling, which is a 12-inch insulation. The reason for that is this is a cold room. This is we call the can room. Traditionally, every Amish house has a can room. It's a room in the basement or like a root cellar over here, but it's not a root cellar. It's a room that's off to the side or in the basement where it stays cool. It's dark. There's no windows here. It's pitch black once that door is shut. Lights are off. For canned goods like canned fruit and vegetables and all kinds of food storage, likes to have it cool around 50 degrees, 45, 50 degrees, cool year-round and pitch black, no light. Less mold will grow, no insects will generally want to be there when it's dark. Just a good way to preserve your food where it's darker. But because this is going to be cool, or cold almost, the bedroom upstairs is going to be warmer. We put some good insulation in the ceiling between the bedroom and this room. There'll be no heat in this room. It's under the ground. It's covered in dirt on all sides. And so it's an underground room into the basement. And here we have the root cellar. A lot of you have thought that this is a bomb shelter. Actually never crossed my mind, but it is a root cellar. And we'll build shelves. This is a tunnel connecting it. This will have shelves, and then this will have shelves for storing our garden produce. And there's a door out the other side, so it's not completely covered. There are timbers in here that I shored up the sides with thick timbers and the roof, plus a concrete lid on this container. A lot of comments were concerning what's going to keep this from collapsing. Well, these thick timbers, vertical and the roof ceiling, will keep it from ever collapsing. Plus, it's got that waterproof concrete lid on the top. And that'll be a really great root cellar. And that's also like 50 degrees year round. Doesn't freeze, doesn't get warm. It just stays a nice, cool temperature, nice and dark. We'll cover this up. Keep the heat from escaping. So let's walk through the rest of the house and get a quick peek at some of the wiring. This is the bathroom in the basement, and there'll be a tub shower here, and this is heat coming out. This will be cut off with a screen. All the places where the heat comes to the ducting system will be a screen that you can shut or adjust the amount of heat coming into the particular room. So shower, tub, toilet. This is going to be a sink here. We'll probably enclose this water filter with a cabinet on this area. This is the water coming in from our tank on the hill, which is fed by the well. So this gravity feed comes in. This valve can be shuts all the water off to the house. All the water in the house comes into this filter, gets filtered, and goes throughout the house, and goes under the cement over to the kitchen area, and goes upstairs inside these walls. Inside the stud walls are all the the drains, and the hot and cold water pipes go throughout the system. Here you can see cold water pipes to the shower, hot water pipes inside the studs like that, and they travel through. And here's a vent, or maybe it's a drain. I'm not sure if that's a vent or a drain, but it goes up that way and catches the next floor. So it's all plumbed together. Underneath the floor are pipes that carry the wastewater out of the house, and the hot and cold water pipes are under the floor, some of them also. So we look up, there's going to be can lighting in here, wires running through the joist there. This is the utility room where the panel is, where the power comes in from the electric meter. This is a special wire that we put in here to the back of the house. This will get connected to one of these wires here. I forget, is it this one? There's one of these wires, solar. Okay, there it says solar. This has a heavy wire going down 170 feet to the meter, and this that would go back to the power. This would come from on our hill. Eventually the solar panels would feed this wire coming in and connect it here, and that would take it down to the power company. So that's how they hook up solar back feed into the system. So we got that all put in the ground, all the way to the meter, and this is the main power coming in. So it's built in for future solar generation. So this will be the utility room for some tools and some storage. Everything will be covered with drywall. What's important to know is on the foam ICF, insulated concrete forms, you want the drywall, sheetrock, on every surface because of fire. You don't want this to catch fire. It doesn't burn very easily, but it makes a lot of toxic smoke. So you want that covered with drywall for fire protection, and then paint it, and it'll be a barrier for fire. This will be our office. And this is drawing the hot air from the furnace room through this piping into this big fan. This is a blower that will blow it, suck it out of there, and blow it through the HVAC, the ducting system throughout the house, the main floor and the basement, to blow heat there. When the fire dies out, when the fire goes out of the stove, this will automatically kick on. There will be a unit sitting outside here, a heat pump that generates heat from the outside air and brings it in here, and then this transfers it into the house. So it's a combination blower that sucks the hot air through from the stove to heat the house automatically when the thermostat's set. When the stove happens to go out or we go away, it turns on automatically and keeps the house warm at a certain temperature. And this is still a mess from the last video that you guys saw. Nothing has changed. It is still a mess. So let's not even spend any time. We'll build a wall there. We're going to have to deal with that wood later. That is the furnace room. So what have we missed? And you might wonder, this might be the first question you're going to ask, why are we finishing the basement? What's up with the bathroom, the laundry room, the stove, all this stuff in the basement? Well, there's an Amish tradition that a lot of people build their basement first and move into the basement while they finish the upstairs. Or they'll move into a shop building or even a barn, another outbuilding. They'll move into, make it comfortable, and they'll move into that outbuilding, or basement is very common, a shop, and then they'll build their house. So that's what we're doing here is it gets us up into this house in a finished basement. It'll be comfortable while we finish the upstairs, which might take a while. And then once we move upstairs, we have the downstairs for a gathering area for guests, for youth, for Bible studies, for other kinds of gatherings. And it would be nice to go out into the yard here and have a kitchen for making the food. And then also the main purpose of this is the kitchen is for us to have a place where we can do our meat butchering, our canning, freezing, food preparation. We grow a lot of food. And we can prepare our food and put it and freeze it or can it, store it. So it's a food preparation area. And obviously the double doors going out the front. Maybe one day we'll have concrete floors here on part of this out here. I don't know. But grass for sure. And that will be access coming in to this area. So that's the basement tour. Obviously a lot of it's covered by the insulation now. But the venting's done, plumbing's done, wiring's done. And Patrick, as you saw in the video, him and his brother Alex, they are getting ready to hang all the sheetrock, all the drywall on all of the walls. Another company will come in and do all the painting of all the walls. At that point, we'll be ready to set the bathtubs, the sinks, the countertops, everything like that. And the last thing we're going to do is paint the floor. There's a special concrete stain that makes it shiny and puts a color to this concrete floor. So there's still quite a bit of work, but we're hoping to get this wrapped up and get moved in here in the next few months. So we'll have more video later. Thank you so much for watching. God bless everyone.